Hello everyone, I'm Will and welcome to the Brick Zone. I'm here today with a LEGO DC Superhero set number 76028, Darkseid Invasion. The set was originally released in 2015 and included 545 pieces. The main draw of the set is of course the Javelin. I personally know the Javelin from shows like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which aired on Cartoon Network a long time ago. I think they captured the shape of the ship very well. It's pretty recognizable. Right now it's in flight mode, and even if you don't know DC Comics or Justice League, I still think this works as a standalone spaceship. Like, it just looks really cool on its own. So, let's take a closer look. Here's a closer look at the front of the ship. The use of hinge pieces really allowed them to capture the Javelin look where I'm sure the ship gets its name from. It looks really sleek. It just has a lot of interesting angles. Like here it's more outward and then it narrows in and just looks really sharp at the front. Throughout the ship there are stickers used, so there's one here on this interesting use of a shield piece to cover the front up, along with some on these two tiles. And you can see some trans blue there. And towards the center, if we move on, there is the cockpit piece, a big trans blue one. It's on a couple of hinges, so you can just open this up like so, and you can see some figures. So here's a look inside the cockpit. I think it's really cool that they have a wraparound console, because in most LEGO ships it's just the front. So we can put Green Arrow in there, along with another figure. You can put Hawkman in the seat behind him. It's kind of a tight squeeze with his wings, but you can get him in there. There you go. And you could just easily close up the ship like that. The Javelin has a lot of action features. The first one I'm going to show is how to open the passenger section of the ship. So if you see the back here, there's a gray tile. You can just press down, which opens it up. It's pretty cool. It doesn't always work though, so I just got lucky. So here in the back you can see there's another seat, so I'm just going to put Cyborg there. And in the back, if you see this red ball, that's another action feature. So last figure I'm going to put here is Superman, and he's on one of the new Super Jumper pieces, which I'll show closer later. But for now, you can put him on that and put the Super Jumper here. It just fits in. You just bend Superman forward. You close this up again. And what you're supposed to do is you get the back, open it up, and then Superman goes flying out. So yeah, it is just tons of fun when it works. I just can do it over and over again. So here's a look at the back. You can see the wings of the Javelin have some more stickers here and here. There's some texture and some graveling here on the side in black. In the back you have some trans blue lights and really cool trans orange in the back, the engines. Looks awesome. And as I mentioned earlier, right now the Javelin is in flight mode, with these wingtips being up. And those wingtips have even more trans pieces, which are awesome. They have a lot of trans red 2x1 plates, which are great. And those are on both sides. But anyway, right now it's in flight mode, and if you pick the whole thing up, you can see on the underside this red Technic piece wiggles around the tips of the wings, and you can actually push this up and it rotates the wings up and down. So, you know, let's try to get a better look at this. You can go like that or that. Flight mode, landing mode. Nice. and it's pretty cool. So there's a look at the outside of the wings in landing mode, and when you bring it down, flight mode, they go flying. So yeah, just up, down, you get the point. That does it for the back, but along the sides here, on the underside of the javelin, you can actually see there are some flip fire missiles there. So if we look at this angle again, it's kind of hard to see, but over here there's the flip fire missile. You just flick it out and it goes firing, and on the other side there's the same thing over here, and you just flick it and it goes firing on the other side. So that covers all of the... Oh, actually there's one more action feature I forgot. It's also on the underside of the ship. So if we raise it up, well, it's in flight mode, it's flying around, fighting crime. You see, there's this compartment. You can also unhinge like this, or it just, yeah, you do that, and you can drop some mines, or some bombs, or whatever you want these to be, onto people, so, like that. And that works pretty nicely. And here's a look at those pieces. It's nice. You have those rounded 2x2 plates, which are cool. Speaking of which, oh, those come in trans blue, again. Love the trans blue. But speaking of the rounded 2x2s, if we take a look at the underside of the javelin, you do have a bunch of those. So there's one in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 total. So just adds some extra detail to the bottom when you're actually flying the thing. It's pretty cool. And yeah, that about covers the javelin. Oh, yep. Just gonna give one last 360 of the thing before we move on. So I think it's a really cool ship, and I personally am a big fan of Justice League, so it's really nice to get this in Lego form. And I don't remember it being this red, white, and blue in the cartoon, but I like the color scheme. It's a lot more colorful and vibrant than the gray I remember. I'm not even sure if that's the actual color of it, but yeah, big fan of the javelin. Here's a look at the ship from directly above, and as I mentioned earlier, they really do it justice by capturing the shape of the javelin. The set includes 4 figures. From left to right you get Cyborg, Hawkman, Superman, and Green Arrow. First, let's take a look at Cyborg. It has a really cool helmet piece, which is one piece. Comes off like that. He is armed with a stud shooter, so it's those guns you can use if you just push down. Fires a stud. You do get extras in case you lose them. He has some really cool torso print on the front. I'm going to save Hawkman for the end just because there's some additional things you can do to him. Superman, you know, he's Superman. He comes with the new soft fabric-like capes instead of the hard ones that are really stiff. I personally prefer these. I think these are really cool, and they're nice and flowy. Give it the flying effect. At the end we see Green Arrow. It's awesome. I've recently been watching Teen Titans and Arrow, so it's really cool to get Cyborg and Green Arrow in this set, for me personally. Anyway, he has Wild Style's hoodie piece from the Lego Movie recolored in green over here. Just rotate it a bit so you guys can see. It's the back of his hood. He has his yellow blonde hair. Looks more like how he looks. He looks more like how Oliver Queen looks in the comics than in the show, which is alright, I guess. He comes with his green bow and arrow, of course. Some nice front printing there, and has some green gloves. So that's the 3 in the front. And actually, I'll show you their back printing later. Last, we'll look at Hawkman, at least between the 4 of these, so we'll just take these off. Here's Hawkman. He comes with his mace, and he has his helmet, his war helmet on, and that's what he looks like underneath. And he also has some back printing on his head when he's in battle. I don't really know much about Hawkman, so I'm sure this looks fine. So he has his wings on the back. It's kind of like this cutout sheet of plastic, and the way that works is that on the back you see these 2 smooth 1x1 rounded tiles. You can take those off, and you can see Hawkman's wings have a hole in them like that, which you attach to this piece, which you just put on his neck like that. So it's kind of like how Emmett has the piece of resistance on his back. You just take that off, and that's what his back printing looks like. And you just put on his helmet again. And also included in the set, in addition to these wings, you got a second pair of wings for Hawkman. So you can change the different, different modes of flight he's in, whether he's flying or maybe the other one is just him standing around not flying, depending on what look you want to give him. So it's nice that they gave you the option, and you can flap them. They're bendable. So yeah, that's Hawkman. But back to Superman, Cyborg, and Green Arrow. Let's give you guys a look at the back of their printing. Cyborg's looks pretty cool, and if we take off Superman, or we'll just lift his cape up. That's what Superman's back printing looks like. And Green Arrow, if you take off his hood, there's his back printing. Oh, I never noticed that before. He does have a quiver of arrows on his back. Some pretty nice back printing there. But while I'm at it, I might as well put on their alternate faces. So, here's a look. Just turn them back around now since you've seen the back. You can see over here, Green Arrow has an angry face. Superman also is pretty angry. So I guess I dropped his hairpiece. So I guess when they're fighting, and then Cyborg has this nice happy face. Booyah! You can also look pretty angry here. So there you go. Now they're all angry, and here's Hawkman. So those are the 4 minifigs you get in the set. Last we have Darkseid, where the set gets its name, Darkseid Invasion. He's a big fig. You can see some printing on the front of his torso. And pretty cool figure. Personally, I'm not a fan of the big figs, so I would have preferred a minifig version of him. But I guess it doesn't matter all that much. There isn't really much you can do with him. You could swing his arms back and forth like this. You can't move his legs or his head. Although you can, if you want. You can put Superman like that. You can smash him like that if you want. I mean, that's pretty fun. But other than that, not much else going on with him. But while I have him here, I'll just take him off my stand, and I will show you guys the little vehicle he comes with. I'll zoom out a bit. I don't know what this is called. I didn't really check. Oh, it just looks like some sort of hovercraft for Darkseid to float around on. So here's a look at that. Not really impressed with this. This is why I saved it for last. I do like the trans light blue radar dish pieces on the bottom. Those are some pretty old pieces. I mean, I still have those pieces back from some really old sets I used to have when I was younger. A lot of stickers on this thing. Stickers here, here, here. I don't know, it just doesn't really do much for me. I just think it's a little unnecessary. I would have preferred maybe another figure or two over this. But anyway, you can put Darkseid here on the back, and I don't think he really fits well there, but it's very loose, but I'm pretty sure that's intentional. Well, before I put him there, he has this cannon on the front. I'm not sure if that's like a new piece or if that's an old Bionicle piece, because I know that they did have those spear shooters a while back, maybe in a different piece, but they serve the same function. Anyway, there's this cannon, and if you hold down here, just catch that, you can shoot the ball out like that. And they do include a second one just in case you lose that. And actually, what I like to do with that one is I just put it here between these two pieces, and it works well. You can adjust the cannon down or up, but you can't really rotate it, which is kind of unfortunate. You can adjust these, but again, doesn't really do much. But yeah, the reason this is so loose is because it can wobble back and forth like that. And the reason they do that is because if you have Darkseid here, I did mention that the set includes one of those super jumper pieces, and you saw when I was making Superman fly earlier. So you put him on like this. I hear that these actually may damage the minifig legs, so be careful with that, because they get stuck, and over time they might damage it a bit. But you know, for now, if you want to use them, all you have to do is bend this piece down with your finger. And I'll just get this more in the shot. And, you know, even when they're just standing here, like on my white background, it kind of looks like it gives the illusion that not the illusion, but kind of like the floating, flying look. So, you bend that piece down with your finger, and Superman goes flying. Depending on how much, or how hard you press down, or how light you do it. So the point is you're trying to hit Darkseid, and right now I'm failing at that. But hopefully, nope. He's like a giant target. Let's see. Nope. Come on, Superman. Yeah, he's just not very... I'm not very good at this. Anything else is... you can take him out easily with anything else that isn't the super jumper. Because this is just pretty bad. It's a little gimmicky, but there you go. I don't think I actually hit it. I think it just fell, but maybe it looked like I hit it a little bit. I'll try one more time, and then we're gonna cut. Ah, nice. I'm a big fan of this set. I really like the figures they include, specifically Green Arrow and Cyborg. I don't really like Darkseid's hovercraft thing. I think it's kind of lame, but I think the set more than makes up for it with the Javelin, which I think is awesome. So, that about does it for my thoughts on this set. Random YouTube viewer, you have failed this city. What do you think of the set? Leave a comment below, like or dislike the video, and subscribe to the Brick Zone for more video reviews and stop motions.